Good evening, and welcome back to the Senagoth Lounge. I'm Luke, and I'm behind the bar all by myself tonight. Our drink special this evening is just straight whiskey. Just not even in a glass, just from the bottle. You and I just hand the bottle back and forth for a while. I got some free San Pellegrinos here for our sober patrons. That's the sort of night it is, folks. It's the sort of last couple of weeks it's been. As I record this, the Ottawa Senators season is collapsing. The Sens have failed to get points in 13 of their last 23 games, which, I would describe as not what you want. I imagine me putting the biggest air quotes in human history around this. Only 7 points and 6 teams between them at a wild card spot. And I don't think that's an insurmountable barrier on paper. But the Sens have officially used up all their runway. And basically they need to put together a huge winning streak and start playing 600 hockey for the rest of the season if they want to see the playoffs this year. And they don't look like they're going to be able to do that. So, obviously there's a lot to cover in terms of what's gone wrong, both on and off the ice, but at the very least, I'm going to start with what's going well. And I'd like to announce that the winner of the Senagoth Lounge C. Montgomery Burns I Told Him to Do That award is Tim Stutzla. Because in our last episode, you might remember I said I'd like to see a more night-in, night-out performance from him, and then he went and put up a 13-game point streak. So, thanks, Timmy. I told him to do that. And this guy is really putting it all together. He seems to have found another level to his game, and he's not even going to turn 24 until later this week. You can only be so depressed about the Ottawa Senators when you've got Tim Stutzla on the team, playing like he's playing right now. And one of the most impressive things I've noticed about Tim is how he seems to be almost immune to whatever other bullshit is happening up and down the lineup. He's being moved around on the lines quite a bit, and still getting it done offensively. Even if he doesn't gel with his partners 5-on-5, he still finds a way to chip in a point on the power play. And I say he's immune to whatever bullshit is happening, but and I say almost because he did fight a guy in Colorado. But hey, as Eugene Melnick once said, I love the passion. No one is going to mistake Timmy for a soft Euro who doesn't want to compete. Compete is his middle name, actually. His middle names are probably something like Karl Friedrich Wilhelm Konrad Adenauer, but I'm pretty sure one of those means compete. Here's another guy I'm not pissed off with. Jordan Spence. I've seen enough. Jay Spenny is a capital P player. He is not good for a short guy. He's not good for a third pairing guy. He's just flat out good. He's out there moving the rock like Fred Flintstone in his prime. And I do realize that he's getting that chinchilla soft offensive deployment. And Jarvis Green appears to think that he's about as defensively reliable as the nation of Belgium. But you can't help but love this guy's offensive instincts. You can tell that he's got vision, he's got patience that only a handful of other players on the team have, and now that he's playing with his full confidence, he's really bringing something to the Senators that they desperately need, especially down the lineup. And if I can talk to you personally for a minute, Jordan Spence, I love how you're holding down that shit in the offensive zone, and as a fellow 5-foot-something guy who was born in Australia, you make me feel very represented in the NHL right now. Thank you for proving that people who had weird childhoods can also become valuable NHL players. And just because I don't know how many more times I'm going to get to talk about this guy in the context of the Ottawa Senators, Claude Giroux, aka the Claude Father, aka Claude the Bod. What a fucking stud. Giroux's played in every single one of Ottawa's 44 games this season, and he's only been a minus in 10 of them. Like, I believe it was Archimedes who said, "Give me enough Claude Giroux's and a place to stand, and I will win the fucking cup." He chips in on the power play, he kills penalties, he's the picture of consistency. I looked up consistency in the dictionary, and there was a picture of Claude Giroux there. And I bet it's still going to be there when I check again tomorrow. There are a lot of guys I would let leave the Ottawa Senators before I let Claude Giroux go at this point. A lot of guys. A lot of guys. Not all the guys. Don't get it twisted. Not all the guys. Crucially, not all the guys. But a lot of guys. More than one or two of the guys for sure. So there are three guys who I just can't find it within my heart to be mad at. Maybe you have some other guys you're thinking of right now. And you know what? If that's the case, I'm sure that's valid. Let's just keep on thinking about those guys, because we need to find happiness somewhere. And there's not much to be had thinking about the team as a whole. Because I'll tell you the last time I was happy about the Sens. And it was New Year's Day. I was at Pearson Airport waiting to fly back to the Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart recording studio in my secret Austrian bunker. And on New Year's Day, the Sens came back from 2 goals down to beat the Washington Capitals 4-3. And at the time, I thought that was the W that was going to mark the turnaround for the Sens season. And if there's one thing I hate about this year's Sens team, and to be fair, there's more than one thing. One thing that I hate is that they seem to be repeating the tendency of the teams coached by DJ Musab Al-Zarqawi Smith to produce 10 to 20 false dawns per season, where you think, oh, this is the game that's going to turn around the season, and then they just go out and lose the next 4 games in a row. Absolutely infuriating. Now they're on a 4-game losing streak. They've had 3 losing streaks this year of 3 games or longer, streaks where they failed to record a single point. One of the losses being a hilarious 8-2 blowout against Colorado, the circumstances of which, of course, I'll be talking about shortly. And while I am a patient man, and some would even say a man of infinite patience, one thing that is not, in fact, infinite is the fucking NHL season. And for weeks, maybe even months now, I have been comforting myself and others with the righteous knowledge that the Sens are actually secretly good, and all they need is a few saves. Well, the time for saves is now, and no one on the team or near the team appears to be capable of delivering them. And here's the crazy part. I have been running the numbers on how bad the Sens goaltending has been this year. You have no idea how bad it's been. You can't imagine. Like, I know everyone kind of cognitively knows that the Sens have had bad goaltending. You don't even know how bad it is until you start putting numbers onto it. League worst goaltending at 5v5. League worst. Like, not 29th. League worst. Also league worst goaltending on the PK. Again, not like bottom 10 in the league. Just the straight up last in the league. So, by far, the worst all situations goaltending in the league. By far. Again, not even close. You know how weird it is that for a team to have terrible 5v5 and terrible penalty killing save percentage? like, I know the meme is and has been for a while that, Ottawa would be good if they just got league average goaltending. Dog, if we got league average goaltending, we would be Tampa Bay. Like, forget good. Like, we'd be challenging for the lead in the division right now with league average goaltending. Can you remember, like, if we got Minnesota's goaltending, we would be Colorado. I'm dead serious. I am not exaggerating. You can run the numbers on this. If we had Minnesota's goaltending performance with the number of goals above expected Minnesota's goaltenders have saved, if we got that, we would be fucking Colorado. I would be eating caviar in Club Bell right now if we got goaltending that was somehow league best. That was better than average. Like, a thing that is actually allowed to happen, by the way. I'm gonna do a bunch of DMT and then hallucinate the reality I'd be living in if Ottawa got Minnesota's goaltending. Like, none of you are ready for what it would be like for Ottawa to get good goaltending. There would be nothing left. Like, we'd be annihilating the league. Annihilating. So, yeah, while none of you are ready for what it's like for Ottawa to get goaltending, the actual Senators aren't ready for that shit either. As they are proving night in and night out. And there's lots of blame to go around for the goaltending. I think you can start laying the blame at the feet of the goaltenders. And there's one guy who I don't actually blame for the goaltending. And I think that's actually kind of a hot take in the context of everything. But the one guy I don't blame for goaltending is Steve Staios. And don't get it twisted, I blame Steve Staios for his fair share of stuff. And there will be lots of time to talk about that stuff, both now and in the future. But the goaltending is the one area where I don't blame him. Because at the beginning of the season, he thought, well, I've got 70% of the same goaltenders I had last year, and they got us into the playoffs, so let's run it back. And if you thought that was stupid at the time, and that he should have actually expected that both goalies were going to take a huge step back this year, good for you, and I applaud you. You called it. If you looked at the goaltending this year and thought that's going to be a major problem, Steve Staios needs to address that. Again, if that sounds like you, if that's what you were thinking, my hats are off. My hats are off to you. That's right. I wear multiple hats. They're all off. I just think if you did think that, we're just at a point where we're fully admitting that goalies are voodoo and past performance doesn't matter at all when predicting future performance. And we should just make all future goalie decisions with tea leaves and animal bones. So go ahead, do that. Go with my blessing. Leave me out of it. I hereby retire from believing that the position of goaltender has any meaning beyond its use as a conduit for God to test and punish us. I know people want there to be like a good third goaltender on the team or something, but like, how many NHL teams have NHL ready depth that far down the lineup? It can't be all of them, right? So yeah, Steve Staios, I don't think the goaltending situation is your fault. I completely think the goaltending situation is sinking the team to a level that is kind of unimaginable until you start breaking it down in terms of numbers. Again, if the Senators had Minnesota's goaltending, we'd be at like a plus 50 goal differential. Like, instead of whatever we're at now, minus 10 or something. So, that's just the reality of the season right now. It's simple to see, it's simple to explain, and there's not really any way to make any of that interesting. Or at least there wasn't until Linus Ullmark went on personal leave, and then suddenly a new angle presented itself, and I'm referring, of course, to making shit up about the Ottawa Senators. Now, if you somehow don't know what I'm talking about, I congratulate you on your good mental health and healthy media consumption. I'll briefly summarize what happened this week. An anonymous burner Twitter account said that Linus Ullmark's absence from the team was due to, how shall I put this, a series of interconnected personal conflicts within the team. I'm not going to be any more specific than that. That's all you need to know. And I'm not going to sit here and act all high and mighty and pretend that I ignored this rumor and rejected it like a bad liver transplant. Of course I read this and went, what the hell? And then immediately started reading everything I could. I totally understand someone hearing there was a rumor, then seeking out the rumor, and then, sort of rolling the rumor around in their mouth like a fine wine. The thing is that after you do that, you're supposed to spit it out. Just because there's an information vacuum regarding the reasons behind Linus Ullmark's absence doesn't mean that we get to fill the vacuum with the first bullshit that comes along. Which brings me to my next point. We need to put this whole insider culture back in the reputational toilet where it belongs. So ask around, anyone will tell you, Ottawa is a small town. I've heard stories you people wouldn't believe. Redden, Ray Emery, Danny Heatley. I don't even have to say anything more than their names, and some of you immediately know what I'm talking about. I myself have put in more legwork than most on the Ottawa Senators gossip beat since I went to go watch Mika Zibanejad DJ a set in Kingston, Ontario, and then retire to his private booth surrounded by a number of women I thought were statistically unlikely to all be his girlfriend. I get it. Everyone loves a juicy rumor, juicy piece of gossip. And especially in Ottawa. Someone always knows someone who works for the team, or knows someone who knows someone, or knows someone's girlfriend, or knows someone's whose girlfriend is besties with some player's girlfriend. It's everywhere. I personally know no less than 4 someones who know someone around the league. It's inevitable that you just hear stuff. It's fun. I get it. To say nothing of what just random people will tell you at a stats conference if you're a straight white guy with a good haircut. If you can get 8 beers deep with any random person from an NHL front office, fucking do it. Take it from me, a guy who's heard a lot of interesting stuff from a lot of interesting people. It's fun. But here's where the rubber meets the road. If it's not coming from someone who is saying it publicly and putting their name on it, you can consider it bullshit. Every rumor is just, my dad works at Nintendo. Okay? And now we're in this situation where we are taking these people seriously. Where we have people on forums, on Twitter, making anonymous posts. I heard every guy in the locker room was real mad. And then other insiders are coming in and liking those tweets, or replying with, a grimacing emoji. And then it starts spiraling out from there. Man, shut the fuck up. Say it with your chest or quit wasting our time. And if any of you are granting credence to stuff like that, take a hard look in the mirror and ask yourself why you're taking the Twitter likes of a guy named, Darth Gerber to be gospel truth on any matter beyond the nature of his own farts. And I find it interesting what starts spreading like wildfire and, what is suddenly dangerous to talk about or starts being treated with discretion. If there's a scandalous personal angle, that's obviously fair game, but when certain players might be mentioned in a Hockey Canada report, that's when every Instagram account suddenly has the journalistic standards of Edward R. Murrow. And it's not even unique to Ottawa, obviously. I'm just saying it's another way all this insider stuff is bullshit. It's never equal opportunity for every rumor, just the low-rent ones. So that's my challenge to rumor mongers and wannabe insiders in 2026. Either say what you mean or shut the fuck up. No more cowardly bullshit in 2026. Get it trending. Oh yeah, the statement the Sens put out about the rumors was a little deranged. But as Eugene Melnick once said, I love the passion. That's all I have to say about that statement. People can debate whether it was good PR, bad PR, but it's what someone in the Ottawa Senators thought they had to do. And, they did it to stand up for their players. And from that perspective, I salute it. And this brings me to my last news item that I'll be discussing today. The Ottawa Senators are trying to bring in James Reimer to shore up the goaltending situation, with Darren Dredger reporting that, quote, "The hope is that Reimer will provide good backup goaltending to Linus Ullmark when he returns from personal leave," unquote. And on the one hand, this makes me think that Stevie Stoicism thinks this season can still be saved, and he might not be wrong about that. But on the other hand, it also makes me think that he doesn't read the news at all. And I think Blue Sky user Alex Gilligan said it better than I could when they said, "Very funny to be on the precipice of having the world phenomenon gay hockey show be centered around a fictionalized version of your team, and then sign a man most famous for his homophobia." And if you weren't aware of James Reimer's homophobia, that's okay, because it manifested most publicly in 2023 when he was on the San Jose Sharks, and he refused to wear a Pride-themed warm-up jersey and then put out a public statement about it. And you shouldn't need to know what's going on with the San Jose Sharks in 2023, but I assure you that LGBTQ people were and are aware of it. And in the aftermath of the announcement that the Sens would be signing James Reimer to a PTO, and I've seen a lot of reactions like, "Oh, well, he's just expressing his beliefs. Don't you think he should be able to have his own beliefs?" And I guess my response to that is, what if his beliefs were that cancer is a punishment from God, and he thinks that curing it runs counter to God's will? And I think that the reaction to that would be very clear. You'd say, "That's great. Now shut the fuck up and put on the pink warm-up jersey and get in there." I'm thinking he can put on a Pride warm-up jersey for one night. It's a warm-up jersey. It's not like they bring a gay guy down to center ice at the second intermission and then make one of the players suck him off to completion. Even though the ratings for that would be incredible. And the fact that they don't do it is proof that the NHL isn't serious about growing the game. So, yeah, should a player be, forced to wear a Pride jersey, even if it goes against, his beliefs, quote unquote? And yeah, actually. Like, a bunch of Ottawa Senators fans are probably going up against their beliefs every time they put on a Brady Tkachuk jersey. We're going against our beliefs if we remain standing during the U.S. national anthem. People are going against their beliefs every goddamn day and every time we watch hockey. You're not special. I assure you that hockey players can wear a rainbow jersey for 22 minutes once a year and then do fuck all for human rights the rest of the year. It's called living in a society, folks. And it's not like I expect or need every player to share my political opinions. I'm just speaking for myself here, but like my expectations for how much my personal beliefs align with the players I cheer for are already in the turlet. Like it's low. You think I'm in a rush to find out what Artem Zub thinks of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, or I'm excited to hear about what Shane Pinto thinks about Canada's trade war with the USA? Nope. Don't care. Don't want to know. The only thing it can do is make me unhappy. The minimum level of common decency I expect from the hockey players I cheer for is that they say, "I love all our fans, even the gay or communist ones." Then we all have permission to share in the success of the Senators. That's part of the kayfabe of sports fandom. The players do the hockey, and we all celebrate together when something good happens. And that's the reason why James Reimer shouldn't be on the Sens, is because for a lot of fans, any success the Sens have with him will not be something they can find joy in. We do not need to make LGBTQ people go against their beliefs by watching James Reimer. And, big picture here, Ottawa has a world historical opportunity here to bring in new fans who suddenly know that the team exists because of heated rivalry. And the last thing I want to tell people who are asking me about the Ottawa Senators because of heated rivalry is, good news, we just signed the homophobic goalie. If Ottawa fucks up this gift they're being given, they will deserve everything they get because of it. Many people are desperate for hockey stories and hockey culture and hockey teams that go beyond, the very strict boundaries of just straight men who don't read much. This is clear. Just look around at, what suddenly gets traction. I think the Sens can carve out a little piece of land for other types of hockey fans, and it'll be a lot more fun and interesting around here. And if you're listening to this and thinking, oh, those new fans will be annoying or whatever, then I have some bad news about the fucking fans we have now. It's called living in a society, folks. Like, it was the old fans who said Erik Karlsson was a garbage pick. If you don't like whatever the new fans are doing or saying, it's fine. You can keep listening to Locked On Sens or Coming In Hot or 32 Thoughts or whatever. It'll be fine, I assure you. You find people annoying? Oh, well, that goes both ways. And guess what? We all get to watch hockey. It's fucking fine. Relax. So that's my pitch. The Ottawa Senators for everyone. 1,000-year Senators Reich. Sens rule, Leafs are poo. Money rains down from the sky. You know how the hymn goes. I'm going to close up the shop now. If you like the show and think more people should listen to it, then rate, like, comment, subscribe, post to Reddit. Maybe just tell a friend about it. That's cool too. I'd love to get some listeners through word of mouth. And if you want the show to be your special secret, that's fine too. We love you anyway. So you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And we'll let you know the next time the lounge is open. I leave you with On View by My Hill. Have a good night, folks. We'll see you later.
The solid ground, soaring like a sunshine mist. I won't give up. I know it doesn't feel like it. My head keeps spinning, but my heart has a steady feel. You decide when to change my mind. I'll keep trying. Sweeping mud over and over again. Days on bed to catch the sun. Depart and everything after. What's necessary to you and only you in this town. Every little thing's glowing across the sea. It's the same living thing. Yeah, we're on you. You decide when to change my mind. I'll keep trying here. I